We saw something we've never seen before in All-Star Game history. Top of the ninth, the American League's down 6-5 until this Stephen Kwan with an infield single to tie the game at 6. All right, so what happens when the game is tied? Well, guess what? Something new. 3 players from each team going to compete in a swing-off. 3 swings, and Kyle Schwarber goes 3 for 3, and the National League wins it in a swing-off. And Schwarber, who did not have a base hit in the All-Star Game, hits 3 home runs to win it for the National League and wins All-Star Game MVP. Absolute bonkers. Welcome in former Marlins president David Samson, who helped the club win the World Series in 2003, and CBS Sports national baseball reporter Julian McWilliams. David, that was incredible. That was something we have never seen before in All-Star Game history, and Kyle Schwarber steps up and delivers. Your reaction is what?
I've got about 68 questions. Let's start with, what's the final score, 6-6?
Yep.
What if the over-under were 12? Who covers? Is it the NL? Were you right? Was I right? Who won the game? The MVP got no hits in the game. No hits, but 3 home runs. And Stowers? Where was Judge? Where was Ohtani? Oh, that's right. They were gone. They weren't even at the game. You saw Scooble in his skivvies out on the top step watching it. I loved it, but my God, it could have been even better.
If we're talking about star power in this game and keeping star power and keeping guys like Jacob, I can't even pronounce his name at this. Mizorowski in this because of star power, then I'm with you guys. Where was Aaron Judge? Where was Shohei Ohtani? Give me somebody else. Heck,
where was Cal Raleigh?
Where's Cal Raleigh?
He won the home run derby the night before.
It's insane. These guys, again, they're not there. I get it. They leave a bit early. But now that the rules have changed, shouldn't your travel plans change too? I don't know. Just me.
Yeah, that was certainly a little head scratcher right there, David, because the American League, Aaron Boone sends out Brent Rooker, which I like that selection. He was in the home run derby the night before. Randy Arozarena, not terrible. I mean, he was hot to end the first half, but Jonathan Aranda to go up there and try to, extend it, that's a tough look. So when you talk about the guys you're sending out there in a winner-take-all situation, and I think they probably looked at it as like, hey, we're just here to have fun. We're not necessarily worried about the result. But, David, as you pointed out, you want your stars in the biggest moments, and they, unfortunately, were not there to deliver.
And listen, we're talking about this because we've never seen it before. It happened to have been a great game that showcased all the great players in baseball, unbelievable pitching, some home runs that we talked about before the game that could be like a home run derby, and it turned out to be amazing. And Alonso was waiting to swing if he was needed for the National League. I'm merely saying that if you are going to do a swing-off, I want to put my best foot forward. And to do that, let's change the rule, which would allow for Judge to come back in the game and pinch hit in the 9th inning, so then he'd be around if there's a swing-off. And in terms of the managers choosing before the game, that's not true. They decided on Stowers right there at the end because there was a tweet by Passan that had the wrong people in it, which means there was a thought of who was going to be in a swing-off. But the reality was, hey, who's around right now? And we didn't know whether it had to be someone who was actually in the game. Turns out, no. Did it have to be someone who was there with a uniform? That was the criteria.
Yeah, but you know what, though, Julian? At least a star, and I know all of these guys are stars in the All-Star game, but a major star. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is a star. He's maybe not a superstar across Major League Baseball, but this is a star in baseball. I mean, Kyle Schwarber is a big name. This is a guy that has been on the big stage. So, to me, this is a win for baseball fans. I know you can sit here and nitpick the choices of the American League and who was there and who wasn't, but for Kyle Schwarber, Julian, to steal the MVP from an NL East opponent in Pete Alonso, this is the stuff you can't make up. This is the drama I love about sports.
Yeah, I get that one. And look, I love Kyle Schwarber. I covered him part of 2021, and people still talk about him in Boston like he's this hero. He's this ultimate leader. And I think if you look at those swings that he took, look, 3 swings, 3 home runs. And that's tough to do. But again, it's not in-game pitching. I mean, Pete Alonso hit what, a 3-run homer here? And so I just can't get with that part of the game being rewarded for being an MVP. No, because when Pete Alonso was up there, he's not seeing a 75-year-old throwing batting practice. He's seeing, he's seeing people with Edwin Diaz's stuff with sink going into his hands, and he's gonna have to challenge that and hit that. And he did that on the biggest stage. That should be rewarded for an MVP.
I was almost positive that Alonso was going to be the MVP if Diaz had gotten the save. He had hit the 3-run home run, and I don't think the swing off should change that. And I'm going to spend a little time thinking about this with you live right now, thinking to myself, well, how do you give an MVP to something that happened outside of the game? So I'd have to go to another sport. If you do nothing during a soccer game, but you do well in PKs, are you the MVP? Or in NHL, if you do well in a shootout, are you the regular season game MVP? I guess that's what this is. It's an after the game, non-regulation event that we're going to do just an exhibition. But now we have to ask the question, better than a ghost runner, is this what we should do in the regular season? I think people would view that as heresy. You can't even think about it, but think about what the other sports do.
Yeah, you can't do the ghost runner. I mean, the fact they erase it in the playoffs, which is the way it should be, regular season ghost runner. Yeah, I mean, we're getting all these rules tweaked, right? But look at all the fans coming back to baseball, the new fans coming back to baseball, and people that have been old fans are like, wow, the game's faster now. There's more excitement. And I'm not trying to play the novelty card here, and we want to be a circus show. But yes, I would say that this home run derby swing off is now going to be a part of the game, because I'll take you back to 2002 when there was a tie in Milwaukee. And David, we hated that. I would not want to be in that situation. I'd rather have a swing off than be sitting here going 6-6, it ends in a tie.
But we had a solution to that. I just gave you the Bud Selig shrug. I was sitting at Miller Park that day, no air conditioning. We were schwitzing, and all of a sudden we said, oh my God, there's no more pitchers. So the way that was cured is there was a pitcher that was named an All-Star who was told before the game that you are not pitching during the game unless it goes to extra innings. And it was always a starter who would be able to give you 1, 2, 3, 4 innings. You'd save a pitcher. When I realized that Chapman and Diaz were the last pitchers on the staff and that the benches were empty, I didn't realize that it was a swing off. I was wondering who they were waiting for and how they'd have no pitchers left, and now we see. So for me, this is the new way to do it, but it didn't end the game any faster, that's for sure.
Julian, would you have rather had the ghost runner on second over the swing off for the All-Star game?
No, I'd much rather had Judge and Ohtani, right? I think if we're going to do it, we got to do it correctly. I can't walk up there and see Randy Arozarena. Those are good regular season hitters.
Such a hater on Randy Arozarena. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Jonathan, how do you pronounce his name? Aranda. Jonathan Aranda, I don't want to see those guys. Even like a Brent Rooker. Yes, he slugs. I get it. Right? He's a guy that I know that came out of Mississippi State and has always been known for hitting. But man, give me the heavy hitters here. The heavy hitters are what drive the game. You really want to bring fans back to the game? Stop allowing all these social media people into press conferences. Stop with all the stupid questions. Bring me Judge and Ohtani.
Wow. I'm sitting here because this is something we've never seen before. It's something that now is going to generate conversation from here until the next All-Star game. Should they have had guys ready to go for this? Should Shohei, should Aaron Judge have been ready? Cal Raleigh, should some of these other guys, Ronald Acuna, should he have been out there in Atlanta? Matt Olson, if you're in your home ballpark, this is going to bring up all kind of questions moving forward. But look, I had fun. I think the fans had fun. But we're certainly here to criticize what we saw. So I get it. It's part of the solution. It can be part of the future. I'm curious, David, aside from the chaos, the swing off, and the game itself, because the game was great. The swing off, you can decide whether you liked it or not. What was another moment, your favorite moment from All-Star Night?
Well, I certainly hope that people will talk about the Hank Aaron moment. It was one of the most extraordinary things I've seen at a ballpark, where they honored home run number 715 on 715, and they did it in a way that shows where technology has come. I felt like Hank Aaron was there, and then when they showed his wife, it was just highly emotional. I loved how the players were mic'd up. I enjoyed listening to Clayton Kershaw explain what he was doing, explain which pitches he was going to throw, explain when the curveball went short, explain how happy he was when Raleigh got robbed by Tucker. I like when there's accessibility like that. You're not going to get great moments all the time like Skubal and Raleigh. It wasn't great, though it was cool to have a battery mic'd up in the beginning of the game in the first inning. But I love that Fox and MLB and the Players Union, I'll compliment them, that they're allowing this sort of thing. It's really good for the fans.
Yeah, it was really cool to see that. And Julian, also another cool thing that we saw, the ABS was pretty much a success, 4 for 5 on the challenges. So I thought that was a success as well.
Yeah, and I really like how Tarek Skubal, tapped the back of the top of his head, and really didn't know what to do. Right? He's like, "Can I call that? Where does that come from?" But the fact that David talked about, previously, he said that it works efficiently, it works fast, it works quick, and it certainly does. And I think that's just a moment that's just a look into our game going forward. It's like, you do want to have the feel element of it. You do want to have the umpires be a part of this. But I think having those challenges in the back of a manager's pocket, that bodes well for the league, and that bodes well for managers not getting thrown out as much probably too.
Just think, both of you were part of CBS Sports HQ's coverage for the first ever swing off. You're going to remember where you were on this date in the future. What a wild All-Star game. David, Samson, Julian McWilliams here